Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 10th. This is our 50th show of the Daily Fantasy 5, where we bring you the five things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. As always, we are brought to you today by mathradio.com, where they help kids ages 7 through 17 do better in math by providing online math courses for as little as $9.99. Go ahead, check them out at www.mathradio.com. All right, we've got a big show for you today. We have some baseball injury news as usual. And then today is the last day of the regular season in the NBA. That means next, after this, we get to finally start playing some real daily fantasy basketball because the playoffs are an awesome place for daily fantasy basketball. But there's opportunities to be had tonight. Hopefully, you listened to us last night and made some money on daily fantasy basketball as we pretty much went 4 for 5. And I bet you had a killer lineup last night. All right. Well, let's get to the news today. We're going to start, like I said, in baseball. Bad news out of the Bronx. We talked earlier this week about Severino going in for an MRI. Well, it was not good. The Yankees ace is out at least 6 more weeks. He has a lat strain, and that is not good for fantasy owners. I told you to start thinking about a backup plan. Well, you got to put Severino on your disabled list and come up with a new starting pitcher. Does this mean you trade away one of your hitters for a new starter? I mean, you might have to. 6 weeks is a long time to go without a quality number one starting pitcher. I mean, if you think about it, you're probably going to lose 8 starts, 8 super quality high end starts that you're not going to get, right? So you might have to go out there, try something else. Okay, let's move on to story number 2. Let's talk about all the injuries actually real quick. Trout, he's day to day with a groin strain. And John Lester, we talked about him earlier in the week. He's going to the injury list with his hamstring, I think it was. Yeah. So that was the injury news last night in the MLB. I also want to talk about Clayton Kershaw. He made his second rehab start last night. This is our story number 2. He ended up pitching 6 innings, which is very good. He pitched 81 pitches, which is pretty nice. He had 6 strikeouts and only gave up 2 runs. Not bad. I like that out of Clayton Kershaw. With the Ryu injury, the Dodgers need him to come back. He might be back as early as next week. So, Clayton Kershaw owners out there, rejoice. You could have your number one starting pitcher back as early as next week. Okay, let's get rid of baseball. I'm done with it for now. Let's talk injuries. We had a big injury with Golden State last night. So, Seth Curry went down. They're calling it a mild foot sprain. In Golden State, they're saying that Curry should be ready for game 1 of the playoffs. I don't think they need him in the first round matchup, no matter who they're playing against. Durant, all the other guys should be fine without him if they don't have him for game 1. But I would be a little bit worried going forward. Let's see how that foot holds up for Seth Curry. I would not be starting him in his first game back. Okay. So it is kind of a crazy day in the NBA. In daily fantasy basketball, I'm only starting players on teams who have games that matter. Now, Roto Grinders would disagree with me. Like their top 12 players all have nothing to play for, right? So I don't know. I'm not going to go with it. I want players who have something to play for tonight. So let me go through the teams that have something to play for. The Detroit Pistons, if they win, they are in. They control their own destiny. So they count. The Charlotte Hornets, if they win and Detroit loses, then Charlotte is in. So they also have something to play for. The Denver Nuggets, if they win, they are guaranteed second place. If not, they could slip down to third. The Portland Trailblazers, this one's a little bit wonky, but if they win, they can get the 3 seed as long as Denver wins. If they lose, I think they could even drop all the way down to 5. No. Yeah, they could drop down to 5. All right. Like I said, it's a bit complicated, but Portland needs to keep playing. Houston is not playing tonight. Their season is over, so we don't have to worry about them. San Antonio, if they win, they can move up to the 6th seed. If they lose, they could drop down to 7th. I gotta love my notebook here. No, I'm not doing this off the top of my head. The Los Angeles Clippers, if they win, they could be the 7th seed. Lose, and they're probably going to be the 8th seed. Oklahoma City. Now, this is bonkers. I'm not going to go through all the iterations of it, but if they win, they are guaranteed the 6th seed. If they lose, they could still be the 6th seed, or they could be 7th or 8th, depending on how everyone else does. And Sacramento, although they can't make the playoffs, it seems like all their players really care about getting to 40 wins. So I think Sacramento is also going to be playing their hardest tonight. So those are how many teams did we mention? We have Detroit, Charlotte, Portland, Denver, San Antonio, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City, and Sacramento. So you have 8 teams to choose from to make your fantasy lineup tonight. So let's talk about 2 guys that I would include in my fantasy lineup. We talked earlier. If you played with our guys last night, you killed it, right? We hit 4 out of 5. Severino Jones killed it for Los Angeles. The only guy that stunk was Theus for Boston, but that's okay. We only spent $3,500 there. Luke Cornett killed it for the Knicks. Dwayne Brown had a decent game, a 5-point multiplier for the. I'm sorry, Dwayne Bacon, not Dwayne Brown. Sorry about that. For Charlotte, and then Drummond came up huge last night with 62 points, and I'm going to start him again tonight. All right, so Andre Drummond and Jokic are both going for 10,300. All right. A month ago, I would have taken Jokic all day, but Drummond has been killing it lately. Again, we talked yesterday. Drummond, 53, 27, 69, 54, 68, 63, and then he added another 62-pointer last night. The guy is on a roll. Detroit needs this game. They need to win. I expect Drummond to be crazy good tonight. The other player I'm starting comes from Detroit as well. I'm going with Ish Smith. He's only 3,900, so he kind of balances out the Andre Drummond tax that we're paying. But Ish Smith has been great lately. He has, 2 straight 30-point fantasy games. So if you can get up to 30, that's a 7.5-point multiplier. That would be outstanding. And then if Drummond gets you to 60 again, that's a 6-point multiplier. That's a great way to start with 10. What would that be? Like 14,000 of your fantasy budget. So go with Ish Smith and Andre Drummond tonight, and then build your team with those other teams. Right, players from Detroit, Charlotte, Denver, Portland, San Antonio, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City, and Sacramento. And I think you can build a winner that way. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening on episode number 50. We will see you tomorrow. And go visit www.mathradio.com. All right, I'm out. That's it. Bye.